Normally.
Prepare for battle.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a trip back through time, back through the void, to a time of relevance where Pycat was playing against this combo, and is clearly why he was not able to win TI4. It is the Faceless Void and his magical Skywrath man. It's back, Pycat.
Back in the old days, I remember the Gareth was played, Wraith King played constantly. I remember there was the unbeatable position by Wraith King. Saw Zion Wraith King. The roaming Skywrath Wraith King. Days of old. Nowadays though, I think Slark Void matchup bit.
30 seconds.
I don't think it is as terrible as it used to be. I mean, there's changes to the pounds mechanic, right? And time walk.
Yeah, you're trapped there now.
It's not terrible. Of course, you don't want the crawl. A little bit afraid of the crawl. Like I was mentioned, I think Hand of God, and there's the mech. And while at some point, of course, potentially Navi play their cards right.
The battle begins.
They're gonna have this really strong off. They're gonna have they can kind of suppress the. They're gonna have two very. Then basically.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Basically, off of how the mid matchup goes. Yeah, they can push this top lane, and the Beastmaster does well. I think they have some good chance.
The thing that I wanted to explore a bit more there is you mentioned if they can suppress the void enough, right? And this has kind of been the big contest of the current patch, the current meta we've been in, is can you beat Faceless Void? And it usually seems to be if Faceless Void has a hero that has a very strong level 2 power spike, then they can beat the Beastmaster plus Ruger combo. Do you think Skywrath gives you that, or is this nowhere near what a Snapfire would give?
I mean, I definitely don't think anywhere close to either like the Crystal Maiden that was banned out or the Snapfire. I think the issue for a lane like this is the fact that they can't really kill the boars. I think the boars are kind of what make it annoying for them. It means you can't just walk up and just farm freely. At some point you're gonna get, the lane is gonna get pushed, summons, and that's kind of where Void has issues early on, since he doesn't have any.
Nice try.
Yeah, and you definitely suffer as a Skywrath, right? Because you've got 0 armor, so these balls just munch away you. Even a Rubik that usually has low damage, you definitely start to feel the pain. Makes me wonder if you just like made the kind of lane very easily, like just get sticks. And I guess my big worry is they will always, as the game goes on, have this Skywrath plus Chrono combo. But is it me, or is it very easy to just initially pick off Insania in these games?
Yeah, I think it can be relatively easy. I also think Mickey has to be a little bit careful playing. There are a lot of ways that this Void can die before he... Pretty much any sort of initiate pounce, or if it's a lift, like the Void can die very easily. They don't have any save. They have some backup in turn. Skywrath. It kind of depends on, you know, if this bottom lane goes well for Boxy, quite strong, then I think they're gonna... Chen is quite strong in a lane like this, I think. It's not really any sort of burst damage in this lane. No one is really expected to die that easily. It's gonna be a war of attrition. Gonna keep hitting Timber. That comfortable. And yeah, it looks like even Taiga is just gonna roll from this lane. I think.
Roll? Oh, he gets the ball smash out. If he gets the body blocks right, they could bring Iceberg down, but no dice. Simulate will just about tap, and they need one more hit. They're going on how they do get him. A little bit close for comfort, but they get the first blood. And the spirit lanes, they're always volatile. And now, Iceberg's slightly behind.
I think this is a very good Taiga here. Bottom lane, give the levels to Boxy. He's gonna switch you. He might suffer a little bit, but he's gonna play a lot around the chains and the rolling death. He's just gonna go try to use these spells for CS. Can't really fight the Slark. Gonna try to get what you can get. Might potentially even see Rod other lanes as well. But yeah, I like this decision. Doesn't really have a purpose on this bottom lane. You're in the can see up top. I mean, you look at Mickey.
Mickey's
He's
trouble.
trouble here.
Time Walk's on cooldown. He's gone. The rolling from Tiger cannot save the day, and now he has to walk
Tiger
away. He's
even in
actually a
trouble here.
liability. He's going to go down. No roll. Very far won't save him either. They dive the tower. General gets himself a double cut, and they immediately think about going for Insania,
General?
but he's cut in the trees. He doesn't have a Queller Blade. He has no way out.
Does he not see the curve? Is that like
I guess,
out of his sight?
Yeah, I guess he felt like he couldn't keep up with it. And as a result, Insania does still go down to always want to fly, though. So even with that, Navi definitely coming out ahead in that trade.
No, for sure. I mean, you look at the Beastmaster, very, very happy right now. It was unfortunate for him to have a Queller Blade and the Rubik 10 goals. I think he expected the Rubik 10 goals since he'd be able to kind of walk into that.
No, he got
But yeah.
these double braces because he's against the Skywrath, presumably. But he's at least got tangos this time. He's like, fool me once, or I always want to fly. He's in trouble. Lift will not buy enough time to let him live.
Dire's courier.
Gonna keep trialing up here. I think Roger try to get on the try to play, maybe run towards top or something. Don't really have a get some levels and you can do. Doesn't seem incredible.
Yeah, it's the fact that, Slark is not going to really struggle, but the Timber is past the struggle point. You can't really shut him down. Once he has 2 points of reactive armor, you know he's going to sustain.
Yeah, there's no real point. He also has the arcane. Got, I mean, 6 mangoes. Gonna just constantly spam this.
Amplify my impact.
Meanwhile, in the mid situation, you can see Storm Spirit's at least keeping his lead because, of course, the thing that he can do much better than a Void Spirit is he can just go jungle.
Back. 5 stack.
Can you just hear the gold noise right now in your head?
You can hear the gold noise in the game.
Radiant's middle
Better yet.
tower is under attack.
I mean, I'm usually a support player in this situation, so I have to imagine the noise, but you've been given pristine access to the gold sounds there, sir.
Iceberg
gonna help him.
is straight up rushing. He
Oh, look. And now they're going bomb. Moving in. Gonna try and bring down Boxy. They punish him as he steps up. V2 is able to get himself some agi, and they get themselves a kill. It does cost them a Rubik. Definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, and Iceberg. I mean, this is again the Storm combo, right?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Bring the Storm. Very happy. Port back to base. Back out with full mana. The one thing though is tower is taking quite a beating. Conqueror is up. Of course, Iceberg is slightly ahead because of that stack,
Dire's
but
bottom tower is under attack.
Boys
Fly
on
now.
flight. Wrong place, wrong time, buddy. Half the step is there. Cut through is good. Always want to fly with one more tap. We'll
Radiant's
go
middle
goodbye.
tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower
and I
is
do
under
think that
Storm's
it
gone
is,
deep. He's out of mana. He's going to be punched in this box. He's going to live.
Iceberg with. Now they're in a bit of trouble here.
Dire's bottom tower.
I mean, losing your tier 1 on the bot at 7 minutes in, that's kind of the power usually of like the Chen we talk about, but he barely had any creeps going with that.
Yeah, but I mean more so that actually Navi are in
Radiant's middle
trouble. I mean,
tower
the
has
tower
fallen.
gets denied. Koipa is in the mid lane. No hero was able to go. Fly didn't have a T. Iceberg was dead. There's Pizza. Top lane.
Look at this. The smoke movement, they go on top. They'll see the core. They could cut that down if they want to. They always go straight for the hero. They cut the core through. General as well. Decapitate him alongside his pet. The worrying part is, like you said, they get that tier 1 bot, but they lose the one mid. And my kind of concern right now is, like, what's your pivot play at the end of the laning phase right now? I feel like this Void Spirit is a very big problem for Navi.
Yeah, I also think that the Tiger has just been very much on. Found a. Just despite the fact that he did. Bottom lane, he kind of created. It's gonna come out about the same time as.
Yeah, which is kind of surprising considering they had those big fat stack. That's kind of the impact we're seeing. So, it makes sense.
Fat stacks, man.
Dire
He
are
has.
scanning.
I was gonna say it makes sense actually because I remember I think it was 2 years ago when the Liquid Boys were on Alliance. They're the ones that kind of cheese their way to a really weird victory with Storm Shen. So if any team is going to know how to kind of play against this less exploitable combo these days, probably Liquid.
Yeah, and I think while general, I really like the idea of this one bracer going early. I feel like he's committed way too heavily into the top lane now. The double bracer with the Orb of Venom, and
Radiant's bottom
also
tower
always wanna
is
fly.
under
Kind of
attack.
he left this lane, and now the Beastmaster has been struggling quite a bit. You know, the Void he's
Dire's structures are
levels ahead of this Beastmaster. He's not going for this book, so there's not gonna be this massive push that early.
Radiant's bottom
Well, in his
tower
defense,
is under
Fur,
attack.
you know, he did have those 2 braces when he died with no Quelling Blade on the tower. But more importantly, you'll know this if you've seen him in the pub games enough. General, he's a big fan of braces, okay? This is that stopping at 2 is impressive because he used to have a big problem with his choice of items. Usually you'd see him with 4 braces every game, no matter the hero. So
It's like the poor man's luxury item.
I mean, I still remember when I think he took it further actually. Clockwork, he'd always build 5 braces. It was either 4 braces of
Radiant's
wand
bottom
or
tower
5 braces.
is under attack.
I mean,
Radiant structures
I
are
remember the
fortified.
one like that one patch where everyone was buying like 3 to 4 Wraith Bands, and I even remember at one point people bought double treads.
Yep. Then there was also like the triple gloves of haste. That was ridiculous
Radiant's
as well.
bottom tower is under attack.
I think
There
Envy
have
took
been
it a
many a
step
patch.
further. Well, I think
Iceberg,
Envy took
though.
these stream. I think he had like one patch. There was one game where I think he built 4 gloves of haste.
I
Was either 3 or 4.
close.
Time is
It was a
money.
lot. Still like that.
Radiant's
You're gonna say he's
bottom
almost got the
tower
Orchid,
is under
right?
attack.
But then have a look at Quickfoot. I mean, he's stolen stacks. We'll get him there first. Quickfoot needs to move away because Primal War was ready. They're coming though. They're reacting.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Roll in. Tiger wants to break up the 5-bit. Magnetize to cause the chaos. Primal Roar is going to be forced out for this defensive. Tiger stands his ground. Will be brought down by the creep army. They're moving in. General's going to be left behind. They don't want to give over a good chrono. Quickfoot moves in. Remnant is there onto Roger though. Proving that not only one Void can combo with Insania on this Skywrath.
Yeah, and while generally Feds enough. So top the Orchid.
Bringing them low. Yeah, this is not enough.
Dire's
Nice
middle
lift.
tower is under
There's
attack.
don't think you got damage anymore. Iceberg's out of mana. Insania will arrive. The sun's going to go out. They can turn around the Rubik. I'm surprised they didn't just go for Iceberg at that point. The roll in, Tiger ensures that
Dire's
Rubik's going to be the
middle
one who's
tower is
punished.
under
And
attack.
they need to get the Storm out. 0 mana means no fight time anymore.
Ali does have this Orchid. Comfortable, but
Dire's middle
they can't
tower
really
is under attack.
take these fights. I mean, the Chen feels pretty. Doesn't really have.
You can kind of feel the desperation, right? Like you get this Orchid, you immediately want to find value, and your target is a Timbersaw. That's when you know, like, you can feel the pressure. The Navi looking to go, okay, we need to make some sort of play. But instead, the smoke comes out. It's Liquid making the play again.
Yeah, and I feel like it's really awkward. The seeing him. Slark he got there with that double kill. I mean, the overextension was quite silly.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Rolling.
But
They silence down the Earth through it, but the silence comes down to Rubik's well. They'll cut him, bring him down with the Mystic Flare, they'll get him low, and they'll cut through to finish him up 1-for-1. Hand of God, too late to save the day, but they'll turn around Insania as well. They do punish Liquid's aggression in this mid-air of the map, realizing that Timbersaw was sitting top the whole time.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower
yeah, and
is
so
under
far, I
attack.
mean, V2's very quiet. Now coming out. Bit more active here. Also, one of the nice things to buy in general against both Faceless Void and the Timbersaw. I think the fact that you're stealing, you know, Essence Shift acts, you know, the Essence Shift acts to some extent. A mana burn too. That so.
Radiant's
out of
middle
mana.
tower is under attack.
if you ever
The
find
best
yourself
way I've heard it described is like Essence Shift is pure damage. That's the other thing as well.
yeah, and it's easy for this Void, you know, if you ever presses this mess, find yourself in a
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So far, though, they haven't used the Chrono at all. Like, they're just finding these pickoffs. They have enough lockdown that the Mystic Flare has been finding big value each time. And now the smoke movement, Navi. It's going to break and an awkward point. So they just back away. There's a lot of priority around stopping the side of Liquid from getting their hands on more tier 1 towers.
Radiant's top
But
tower.
it's
I like
the
what
Timbersaw.
Boxy's doing. Boxy's just, he's posturing up, standing in front. Bought this soul. Very, very tanky. The amount of resources. Doesn't really feel like it's gonna be worth,
Radiant's top
especially if
tower
they're heroes.
is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
I've heard some people say they wish they'd bring back the damage talent for Timber. Well, me can't. He gets away. They need to run. They need to run right now, and they know they'll get out.
Radiant's top tower.
They're gonna keep an eye on him, but it's the chrono factor. I think they're too scared.
Yeah, I also think they overlap their kind of stuns. I mean, a Void with amount of HP, quite easily to stuns, or the heroes are just.
They still have the primal roar to play with. They're actually going again. They're going to move in on Mike, stance him up, pound fall up as well. Suncontrol looks decent. We'll get him low. One more hit needed. They'll get it. The Orchid burns him out. Roll. Punishment incoming though. No mana left on Storm Spread. A bit of trouble. They get cut in. Dissimulate to do a dish out a lot of damage. And Iceberg, who's going for TBO. The Render gets blocked by B2 and the primal roar comes out. Timber does arrive. He is going to be able to punish Iceberg in time. Now they chase forward to the Quake for bringing him down. B2, he has now used the Shadow Dance, but he can hit into box. He forced him away under the tier 2 tower. It will slow down the pursuit, but will be slowed down as Always Want to Fly has stolen the spell away from him. And with this and with no mana, they thought about it, but Boxy just too tanky at that point. They'll let him get away. Navi, they get the bigger chunk of the pie.
Is mine.
They're not
Dire's
dying.
bottom
some very
tower
nice
is
use
under
for-
attack.
Ooh, no. B2 thought about sending the message, but decides against it. They do
but
know
Slark
about
will-
Insania though, by the way. Ooh. I think you can, don't worry, it's just something's gonna get plucked. You can continue your analysis there.
No, I mean the Slark he is off to a very good start. So, both cores here, even though despite the storm having a couple deaths here, you know, he's got the Orchid. Probably the top fighting shape. Or, you know, he could potentially like this soul. With Manta.
Okay, he's in trouble. Gonna be brought down. He's going for a Manta too. Doesn't even get to it. Gets caught out again. That's probably gonna happen 2 or 3 more times before you have the
Dire's middle
Manta
tower
to
is
get
under
out of
attack.
the Orchid as well. That's the scary part
Dire's
here.
structures are fortified.
The passive chrono starting to work against them so far. Is Navi, they play confident into it. They're not scared of it.
And he needs to be a lot more careful, I think.
Jump in.
With the
Insania. Brought down in front of the Mystic Flare, but it's too late to save himself. Now Boxy in trouble, trying to Bloodstone up, but too much damage. It's going to be brought down. House also melted by the forces of Navi. They might just think about Roche at this point. I mean, you have the means. Like a machine.
I mean, Navi, they just got the ball rolled. Now, generally, first, Slark he's getting Manta style, you know, it silences. Happy, probably an 8.
Your son has fallen to the
Most importantly, this Manta timing is probably going to sync up to match and counter out what Quake is building. I mean, he'll get the Ags a little bit sooner, but by the time you're ready to fight now with Aegis in play, there's going to be more defensive tools available to Navi. I don't disagree with Quake to go, but even more silences necessarily, because it feels like that is screwing them. But my concern is how non-threatening Mike feels in this game.
Yeah, we haven't really seen
Dire are scanning.
kind of plays from this Void, and I just quite good at using the Hawk. That's one of the things about matchup is, you
Dire's top tower is under attack.
know, hit creeps. Hawks, they just, it's so easy to find them out, right? Sentry's coming up. All Liquid just to defensive jungle.
Mania. Yeah, he got a little bit cocky there. Didn't pay the price. Had enough mana, just enough to get away, in fact. Obviously, Liquid a little bit paranoid about playing around that mid-area without too much vision.
Yeah, but the vision game from quite difficult.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, because he's always secure in the area ahead of time, and then they can just shift as a team. Like that's kind of the awkward part. And it feels like Liquid, they're still in a state where they want to be able to play maybe as 4, and then have Mike off farming somewhere. Once he's got 1 or 2 big items, go together, make a play. It's weird because that's usually what Mr. Big Chrono Man here does after he's used the Chrono. Not with it still off cooldown for 18, well, not 18 minutes, but basically he hasn't used it since he's got level 6.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, he doesn't really... Feels awkward for him. He really wants to get to the kind of have an essence ring. Gets the essence ring and the Manta, it's gonna be way.
I've been wanting this.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Navi are very much in control.
Yep, and they're proving it. They find Tiger next. Spur action. Navi once again coming out ahead. 5k net worth lead now, and this is kind of the power of Beastmasters. Immediately after these kills, you can just go into a push if you want, but they go hunt for Mike again. This time, not in the triangle.
While, you know, earlier we were talking about how the Shadow Fiend is... Also, the same thing goes for the 10 Beastmasters.
Structures are fortified.
The original
Radiant's bottom
art style
tower is under
kind
attack.
of inventor of push.
Dire's middle tower is
Oh yes,
under
this is the
attack.
classic
Brought this-
Ezekiel. Now what?
Yeah, he kind of brought it into the game.
Dire's middle tower
Forward.
has fallen.
Catch my drift. It's
He's
always
to
been there.
perfect it.
Yeah, I mean, he's the one who kind of embodies it.
Like busy
Genau.
Z with a Pugna set, you know? People just have that. Oh, Mike, no, he gets caught. V-Tune sees, V-Tune destroys, and Mike's Essence Ring will not save him at all.
He knew that the pounds was off cooldown, but there's the clumsiness.
Oh, and now forward on the quick for next. If he gets hit like Clumsy, he'd be in trouble. Luckily, it's on cooldown for 10 seconds more. Force uses final Astral Step though, and Insane needs to be a little bit careful because they turn on V2. Hit up by the Mystic Flare. Stance comes out, but not for long. Dark Pack gets it off, able to move away. Boxy does get out as well. But once again, you know, Liquid just reacting, not able to make any sort of active play. Luckily for them, the lanes are pushed, so Navi don't have a clear objective immediately afterwards this time.
My thrift rewarded.
Liquid's map feels very small. Very difficult for the out on the lane. And there's the divine. There's the summon, the recall by Chen.
Yeah, the
Bringing the
Divine
storm or the Slark around the map. Incredible mobility, coupled with the Hawk Sword. This master, the game is very strong. Very difficult for it to kind of maneuver out on this map.
Come on. It's just always looking into the void going, are you ready yet? I mean, he's almost got the Manta now, but with the new items coming in, I don't think you're going to have a choice anymore. You're going to have to be ready. But in no way does this Faceless Void feel comfortable in this game right now.
No, and it's... Yes, you know, now you are maybe going to be able to survive. The question is, can you actually damage? Chrono damage is... okay-ish. I mean, they have the Skyrath Mage. They have some damage out of the Sword Chakram, but not amazing by any means. The fight is not incredibly superior. Their high ground defense is not the strongest,
Dire's
so...
top tower is under attack.
They're going to do Silence Smoke. Silence on Silence. Iceberg catches himself off. He's got that Aegis to play with. Bloodstone's going to keep him up healthy at the moment. But they do get through it, and Remnant is waiting when he comes back up. So he did have to use the Mystic Flare. Nice use of the Chrono, though. Going to catch on to him with the Gen Army as well. Trying to burst through Iceberg quickly. Now going to just go to the back line. Roll through is good. Oh, my God. Trying to keep him up. Iceberg able to move away. The front roll stun is good enough to turn around and bring Mickey low. Trying to move away for this bit dead. Time dilation will not save the day. Boxy just being ignored. Quickfire has to cut and run to the side. He's going to turn, try to run through them here. He has brought them low, yes, but they've got enough to sustain that now. Boxy might be in a world of trouble. He will bring down General, but he needs to get out now. Remnant, off the mark from Always Want to Fly, runs into a different one. Storm Spirit, straight across onto Quake for nice stance coming out from Tiger to try and protect him. Orchid follow-up is good so that he can't pursue. With that big fat mana pool, it won't be enough. Quickfoot does get out, and in the end, not a bad fight considering you had to get through the Aegis first.
Yeah, at the same time, though, survives, Mika dies, and it's kind of the how it's almost 5k gold. Slark getting close. Matchup is, I mean, it's not what it used to be, but also when the Slark is this far, not a very comfortable match. Like I was mentioning earlier, you know, we went for this diffuse. The Manta, to some extent, it actually kind of makes sense when you think about the diffusal. It just jump on the void, you Manta the diffusal, and all his mana, the hero is completely... Doesn't have the best mana pool to be...
It makes more sense in this game than last game when B2 was building it.
Dire are scanning.
I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, in this game, it's so much more of an...
B2 goes in Lansania, purges off the stance, and whacks him down. And this is the weakness of the Skyrack. You get to this stage in the game, and if you don't have any way of counter-initiating, you're just an easy edible chicken for your enemies. See the hesitation.
They're incomplete.
Quake, but that was a little bit too close for comfort. They actually checked both sides of where he TP'd. He does get out. My kind of concern is you've got Boxy as the one kind of out farming, looking for something. He has now got this Lotus, but it feels like the hero that's getting the most gold in your team isn't necessarily a hero who's gonna get the biggest power spike off the next big item.
So it is very difficult for carry in a game. You have to get... at some point, I mean, this would become just get to... But, you know, we're quite far away from there. Navi are kind of mounting this imminent doom. We're just gonna wait for this next roll. Aegis one getting closer. Slark, he has the Basher working.
It might be doom for Boxy. They got the control to kill this Timber, but looks like the bash has come out. The lockdown is good. Got away from the freak wave, even with the reactive armor up. It's not enough to keep him in the game. That does mean that Mika gets his early warning trying to go away, but it's too late. Oh no! They were mid-animation. That was a squeaky bum time moment for Mika there, but he does get away.
And while it's very comfortable for Tanky Boy getting surrounded by heavy lineup, and especially you kind of wish it didn't take you so long to die. It just once 5 stack up even.
And still, you get into the stage in the game where you can say lay on the game, a one good chrono can kind of turn it all. And that is kind of true that like the weakness of Navi's lineup can be these chronos, right? Because they're very much about getting in and out, like doing your damage in a few seconds, then retreating, coming again. If you can catch a good chrono, there's potential there. It's just the question mark of like who is the primary target and do you really have the damage to follow through in this?
My thrift.
I think for them to be able in this game to be able to take fights, I mean, they need to be able to bring down the Chen plus whatever force. Otherwise, you can just rely on buybacks. Play with these buybacks, the Chen just brings you back into the fight. I mean, it's kind of the best option to do this. It basically works like an Aegis. Jump into the fight, you can die, you can just buy back, storm, then brings you back. Come in with full.
I mean, his whole kit is just lethal in this game, right? It's not just the recall. Like, he's the one with the Glimmer Cape. If you actually look at Liquid's damage breakdown, it's, what, I'd say like 90% magical at this point.
Yeah, their damage is very limited.
Dire's top
Both the
tower
mech
is under
and the
attack.
god, you know, the heat.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
700 healed. If you look at the damage from Liquid, it's not really there.
No, and I'm gonna be there for a while. Right now, the name of the game for Liquid is survival. You gotta kind of drag this layer. It doesn't feel good against the Storm and Slark. You need pickoffs. If you find them as a group, you're in trouble. You can already see that the spot out here, the pings come out. Conqueror is still going in though. He needs to be careful. They've got Blink moving in. Limp's gonna be there. Follow up. Sans comes down insane. Need to control him. And then to jump in with the initial. Conqueror brought down, burnt down, and killed off. Foxy just being ignored as they chase deeper. They'll find insane here as well. Tiger trying to escape. Nope. Iceberg's magic immunity means he can't block the rollout. They do find the kill on the Foxy, however. And just outside of Liquid's base, it looks like it's sieging time.
Dire's top tower
Slark
is under attack. Dire's structures
Press
are
the
fortified.
additional hitting at some 168. It's gonna go back to Roche.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Very grim for.
No,
They need to get the. They need to get so much more damage. To be able to kill some of these fights.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
All of these heroes. So thank you.
And, you know, I'm looking through the liquid here. It's like, okay, well, you know, Spirit Vessel, you know, Thousand Gold, Tiger will have that. Is that going to be enough? Not really. They have good ways of dealing with it. Then you're just looking at this MKB. I feel like this whole game, if you're a Liquid fan, has been looking at Mike and wondering what's next. When's it going to happen? You know, we've seen miraculous things out of Faceless Voids time and time again over the years, but you're going to need to pull more than one miracle out of your ass in this one.
Yeah, I think it kind of feels like the Void always one or two items behind, and there is
Speaking of which,
lift. Get out.
Lotus protects. Foxy is there, savior of Liquid, but not for long enough. They move in now. Looks like they got him. They can stun lock him good. Bring him down. Dead for 50 seconds. Tiger uses the magnetize, but he's netted up. He's not getting away. Just outside of the base, the worst place to have this happen to you. They can push him on the high ground now.
Now you can see it. Bird, he has pretty much 3 lives here. Again, and also attack with the chi. I don't know that the
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
All right, it's we've reached that point, Pycam. How did they get them in the fountain?
How do they get in the fountain? Okay, so let's craft this. There is some Earth Spirit, right? Could potentially roll enough times to
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
maybe the
I like what you think. Yeah,
remnant.
Then Chrono on the edge. Then the way at the end you bat them in
Dire's
further.
top tower
Right.
is under attack.
We've got it. Okay, so yeah, you just
Dire
need
are
roll in, bat, then Remnant plus Athos, then
Corral
bat.
them towards the enemy fountain, you know, like bait them in far enough. Just maybe drop an item or two in front of their faces. Hope they
Just leave them a trail of 3. Ooh, a ward. Ooh, another ward. Oh, a Faceless Void. I'm pretty sure if we had access to like a death heat map, Mike has died there probably 4 times now, and they'll also lose Boxy in the base. Like, I'm surprised Liquid haven't tapped out yet, because this is looking ruthless.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
playing in this game.
Radiant's middle tower is under
It's
attack.
one big Chrono. Like, they've switched on Eminem's best track. They're like one Chrono,
Dire's top tower has fallen.
alternate all.
Radiant's middle
I don't know if it's going to be enough at this point.
Dire's top barracks has fallen. Dire's top barracks has fallen.
Yeah, I mean,
The good
it's
news
sort of...
is they have a titchy bot. That is the good news, actually.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
So they can get bullied for another few minutes.
They can go for some sort of void he's gonna get. The longest of Chronos. They can go for some sort of fight here. Hope that the Aegis fires. Try to take a fight. You know, catch 5 heroes in the Chrono, Chakram onto all 5 of them, and they might kill.
So you're suggesting that
Dire's
Liquid
bottom tower
be given
is under
access to
attack.
console commands and be allowed to spawn a Darkseer so they can get all the heroes together with Chakra.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
If Liquid could just now, like, if they spawned, like, I don't know, 3 Roches to fight for them, I'm not even sure that would actually enough. Now Psych on Iceberg.
Yeah, and he's had that in charge with the last fight as well. He just dishes out so much damage. Moving in, Stun's going to come out. BKB was used. He used the Hex now, rolling Tiger. He's trying to break up the fight and keep them away from re-engage. B2's going to get across, though. They do bring down the Void. He's dead again. Alongside Tiger, and Sane will be melted through as well as the GG comes out. They finally submit. It is defeat. It is a 1-1 storyline. We're going to need to go to game 3.
Yeah, I mean, if they had those 3 right in that fight, you know, a couple of bombs, a couple of slaps, some bashes here and there.